I always hear people say that speedrunning used to be more fun. But is that actually true? Is it nostalgia or is it actually better? Well, that's what I'm here to answer in today's video. I'm gonna go back to an Ocarina of Time speedrun route from 10 years ago and see how it holds up today. The run will be fully commentated, breaking down every single glitch so you can follow along at home. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, and let's get right into it. Now, once we get into the speedrun, if you've never watched an Ocarina of Time speedrun before, or if you only see the most recent runs in 2024, this might be very different from what you expect. So, as a casual, you might already be kind of confused by just the first 5 seconds of gameplay right here. What are we doing? So, in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, the Nintendo 64 Zelda games, Nintendo, for some reason, upped the movement speed for backwalking and side hopping by a lot. Like, the movement speed is faster than even rolling. So you're going to see that what I'm going to try and do is walk as little as possible and instead try and take straight paths where I do not ever have to walk. So right now, my first objective of the speedrun is to get the sword as quickly as I can. And I do that by doing a couple of side hops and backwalks right there, and we get right here. Now, after I've done that, I'm going to be basically just going back the way I came from and exiting the hole. Now, once I'm here, I'm going to be picking up a couple of more rupees, and all of this is actually sort of for the intended reason. So in a casual playthrough of Ocarina of Time, you would get the sword, collect 40 rupees, and once you have the 40 rupees, you then go buy the shield and enter the first dungeon, the Great Deku Tree. I'm not quite ready to do that yet because I have a couple of glitches I need to get out of the way and a couple of items I need, but that is the reason we're collecting the rupees. Now, instead of going to the shop, I'm going into the Lost Woods. Now here, I would normally not be able to do anything at this point of the game. However, there is a glitch you can do called Forest Escape, which is very useful. Now, when it comes to Ocarina of Time, or most Nintendo 64 games, they do not have great collision checks when you hit, like, the corners of certain objects. So this corner right here that I'm looking at can be abused. Now, normally right here, you would enter the shortcut to Zora's River by having the scale so you can dive down. I do not have that yet, but there is a way around that. So I'm going to do this very precise setup so I have this specific camera angle. Then what I'm going to do is side hop and jump slash. And if I do that at the right time, I will just barely clip into this corner, and then I can just swim up right into the loading zone and escape the forest early. Now, once I'm here, I actually have to play really fast on this route, because I have to make it to Kakariko before it turns night. Otherwise, I have to spend 2 minutes in the overworld waiting for it to turn day again. So I'm going to try and enter this water right here. I'm going to be picking up some rupees as well on the way. Now, the whole purpose of going to Kakariko early is because there's one very essential item for beating this game that I do need, which is a bottle. So I'm going to be swimming down here, and then once I get to the bottom, I perfectly hit 42 rupees. That's all I need. And then we're going to enter this loading zone, and now hopefully we can get the next glitch. So there isn't really enough time to make it to the end here consistently, and because also there's a text box and a cutscene at the end. So I'm going to do a glitch right here called a WES, or a Water Extended Super Slide. So what I'm doing right there is I slash my sword against the wall, and that gives me recoil. Then the recoil hits me into the water, and then by holding a very slight direction on the analog stick, I'm putting Link into a turn Link state, an ESS position. And that actually locks my speed, and that's how Nintendo designed the turning around phase so you don't actually walk. It basically assumes that because you're going from the middle to, like, turning around, it just caps it because they thought it would cap it at 0. Now, once I'm here, it's very straightforward. There really isn't anything to explain. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to be picking up all of these roosters slash cuckoos, and by collecting all of them and throwing them into this little pen here, I'm going to be rewarded with a bottle. Now, once I have that, I have one more thing to do. And this is all essential, by the way, for setting up a glitch that I'll be explaining later. But what we're going to do now is pick up this rock, throw this. I'm going to be equipping my bottle, and then I'm going to pick up some bugs. And remember this, because this is going to be very important for later. So I'm going to pick up some bugs, and then I'm going to save and quit my game and reset to get back to the start of the game. The holidays are here, and if you're still looking for that perfect gift, then it's not too late, which is why you should check out Manscaped's latest product, the Chairman Pro Package. And this package has everything you need for a perfect shave. The package comes with 3 main products. First is the Chairman Pro Foil Shaver, which has a 4-blade foil. It's super easy to use, and it follows your skin perfectly thanks to its flexibility. And it comes with a 75-minute battery life. And I can personally vouch that this is my favorite way to shave. And if you're actually able to grow a beard, then you're still covered with a chairman, thanks to its precision lock. Plus, the package still comes with 2 additional products, the Power Shave Gel and the Face Soother, to help you never get that dry or irritated skin that is just not fun to have. So, if you're looking for that perfect gift, or if you just want to up your own shaving game, then be sure to go to manscaped.com/Linkus7, and if you use promo code Linkus, you will get 20% off your order, plus free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Get that perfect gift for yourself or someone else. Click the link in the description of this video. Thank you so much, Manscaped, for supporting the channel. And that being said, let's get back into the video. Now, once I spawn in here, I'm going to run out of the house. And as you can see, I have my 40 rupees, so I have just enough rupees to buy the shield. Go in here, buy the shield. Now, once we have the sword and shield, I'm going to be jumping into this water. I'm going to go up and talk to Mido. Mido's going to see that we have the 2 items, just like a casual, and we're going to be let through. This is pretty much like if this was a casual playthrough right now. The only difference is that I have a bottle with bugs in my inventory. That's it. Otherwise, there is nothing weird going on. No coding glitches, no nothing. It is just straight up like a casual playthrough, except for the fact that I have a bottle. Right here, I do a little mini trick. You can see that Link kind of was delayed and then ran up really fast. So this cutscene is pre-programmed to have Link walk up to a certain step. But if I jump into the cutscene and like slash the wall to get some extra recoil, I can get closer to the tree, just saving me an extra 1 or 2 seconds of movement. There's a lot of like minor optimizations like that throughout this that you will be seeing. And we are now officially in the first dungeon. Now this is where the glitches are really going to start to pick up. And I'm going to try my very best to explain all of these, assuming you have not seen this before. And if you do know how the glitches work, then this will be a little bit of a refresher. So, first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 2 sets of nuts. And then I'm going to equip the nuts, and I'm going to equip a stick. And I'm going to go upstairs now. Now, the first glitch that I'm going to be doing, I need to explain just very simply how it works because it's kind of confusing. So I'm going to do a glitch called an IST, or Infinite Sword Glitch. What you would need to know is if you look right here, if I slash my sword, I cannot fall off of ledges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a crouch stab and interrupt it by reading the dialogue of a short description of what enemy this was with Navi. Once I have done that, I now have Infinite Sword Glitch enabled, and my sword is actually being swung every single frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to press A, and right now, I'm on top of the Skulltula. And I'm just kind of hovering on top of the Skulltula thanks to the glitch. Now, what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to do a backwards kind of side flip by holding a very specific angle on my analog stick, and then jumping backwards. And that's going to land on the middle here, break the spider web because I fell from so high up. I was almost at the 2nd floor. And now I'm just in the air because of the Infinite Sword Glitch. And then I'm going to hold up left, target, side hop, and jump down to the basement. Now, once I am down here in the basement, I need to get up to the 2nd floor because I do not want to walk through the dungeon normally. So I'm going to go into this corner. I'm going to do 2 backflips, side hop, and line myself up just like this. And if you do that correctly, you can just barely make this jump and get up here. Now, once you're here, you can actually go through this web because that web is not loaded because the game does not expect you to go up from the bottom floor. It expects you to go around, so the edges are not loaded so you can just get through. Now, once I'm in the basement, I'm going to take down these little guys right here, the 231 as it's called. Gonna go through here, do the password, and we're now officially at the first dungeon boss, Gohma. Right? Already pretty quick, right? With a couple of pit stops. I'm 10 minutes in while having to stop. I'm doing this all live, but if you're wondering, I'm actually playing the game. But this is where the run now starts to get very different from what you might expect. So, what I'm going to do now once I enter Gohma is I need to figure out a way to kill Gohma and then leave this room. But you can see that a giant stone wall just went down behind me. So that is where the first huge glitch is going to come into play right here called Gohma Clip. So I'm going to start this boss fight with Gohma right now. And then I'm going to deal a lot of damage to Gohma. I'm going to stun, attack, stun, attack, stun. Then I'm going to get Infinite Sword Glitch again. If I can time it. There we go. And then I'm going to go into the bottom right corner right here of the stone stab. I'm going to turn around and then stand right here. Then at one specific frame of Gohma's attack animation, I have to buffer 1 more frame. Right there, I'm going to backflip. that is going to push me through the wall because he's moving so far forward and my sword is kind of slashing and I'm holding my shield. It pushes me through the wall. I can then kill Gohma because he was one hit away from death through the barrier. He dies, the blue portal spawns, and a heart piece drops, but I am on the other side of the wall. Once that has happened, I can now go over here, exit the room, and then go back in, and everything is respawned the way that it should. And now once I am here, I'm coming up on the biggest glitch that was a huge discovery around 2012 and kind of redefined how Ocarina of Time speedrunning worked. And this is one of the most infamous glitches of all time. This is the rung warp. So, let me explain in case you don't know how rung warping works. So, when I enter this warp, there's going to be a cutscene that normally plays, an internal timer, and this timer is going to play through the cutscene, the animation of entering the blue warp. It's going to then take Link away, and then it's going to take me to the outside, just like a Kasha would. But what I want to do is I want to somehow have free control over Link while this blue warp is being active. And that is going to be done through a glitch called Ocarina items, which is why I wanted a bottle with an interactive object that I can pick up. So you see how my bottle is blue right now? Well, what I can do is I can buffer using it by backflipping and pressing the bottle in midair. But I'm going to interrupt that kind of buffered item pull by pressing my sword button. So if I backflip, press bottle and sword, Link is going to play a fake Ocarina. And the very important thing about that is that normally I would not be able to play the Ocarina when I enter a blue warp. But you can through Ocarina items, the glitch I'm doing right here. So our objective right now is going to be to go right here. And then I'm going to side hop, neutral. And then right here, I'm going to backflip into the blue warp and do Ocarina items. Now, right here, the cutscene is supposed to take control over Link, but it's not able to. And here, I'm going to then do this random movement setup right here. And I walk into this part of the area. Now, you're going to see right now that it's supposed to be warping me away, but it's not able to. The blue warp, I'll just show you super quickly right now. The blue warp is actually active on the other side. So if I turn around right now, it's going to tick up to 101 frames. And once it does that, it's just going to take me away. But because I'm on this side of the wall and it's so far off camera, it's not loaded and I can do whatever I want. So my objective right now is to make sure that I do a specific setup where when I open this door up right here, the timer for that blue warp is going to hit 101 and 1 to warp me away at the exact same time that the loading zone for this door activates. And if I do that correctly, it is going to take me to Ganon's tower. Now, there's a lot of math involved with that, but the simple reason is that the loading zones in Ocarina of Time do not follow this, like, the order you would normally play through the game. The loading zones are kind of scattered around. And the game adds values to it to tell, hey, if there's a cutscene that's supposed to be playing or a special event should be playing. So the game would normally do the math of basically take him to outside of the Great Deku Tree and add this value to play a cutscene. But what happens right there instead is, because I enter the loading zone at the same time to the Deku Tree, it says Deku Tree basement plus add a value of a cutscene. And it just so happens to be that that math of the loading zone it points me to is not a cutscene room outside of the Deku Tree, but instead, it's Ganon's tower collapse after Ganon has been taken down and then defeated. So I am all the way at the end of the game. And this was such a huge discovery and absolutely incredible. Now, I understand that what I just explained is quite a complicated glitch, and you might be a little bit confused about it. I'm trying to simplify it to make it a little bit more understandable, while still keeping it fairly accurate. But all you need to know is that I'm now at the end of the game with just, like, with Child Link. And one of the things that I really love about this speedrun right here is that even though that rung warp glitch itself might be a bit confusing to wrap your head around, it's still, like I said earlier, still somewhat easy to follow along the route of what I'm doing, right? I got a bottle and then I played up until Gohma. I did that rung warp glitch and now we're at the end of the tower. Now, later on, people were able to figure out a way to skip this collapse sequence as well. But since I kind of want to go back as like a Christmas special to like the first really speedrun that really got me into it from Games Done Quick 2013, I wanted to go through the speedrun the way I actually remember seeing it. So that's what we're doing right here. I'm going to slash my stick right here and then activate Zelda. And that's just because some really strong enemies are going to spawn right here. And by activating Infinite Sword Glitch, but having my last damage be a jump slash with a stick, I actually have, I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but just in case you didn't know, a jump slash with a stick has the same damage as the true Master Sword. And the reason they set it to such a high value is because normally you would only be able to do it once and then the stick breaks. But since Infinite Sword Glitch is just swinging my stick around constantly, and it's not actually, using it or breaking it, it's just outputting that damage every single frame. So I do that, I take down those 2 enemies, and that's pretty much it. For the rest, I just have to follow Zelda along right here, because Zelda just keeps opening up these doors. Gonna run through the last 3 rooms. Now we made it all the way to the end, and Zelda opens up the final gate. We are finally let outside. We now just have to watch through this like about 1-2 minute long cutscene, and then we're coming up on the last Ganondorf fight, which is also where a lot of happy coincidences makes this entire route possible. Now, if you have fought Ganon before, you will know that the first phase of Ganon's cycle takes forever because they made it so that every other piece of equipment that you have, because you lose your sword during this section, or the Master Sword, which I totally have, every single item that you have has been set to a damage of 1. So you have to do usually around 10 hits or so, if I remember correctly, for you to actually take down this first phase. However, Nintendo did not lower the damage value of your stick, since the game never intended you to be able to use a stick, because normally you're adult Link. So, you remember earlier how I said that a jump slash with a stick is true Master Sword damage? Well, you're going to see that right now. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over here. I'm going to get Infinite Sword Glitch. And then all we're going to do is walk underneath Ganon, hit his tail. Walk underneath Ganon, hit his tail. Walk underneath Ganon, hit his tail. We are going to do that back to back to back 3 times. That is going to take him down. He's going to be damaged. Now, once that's done, we're going to run up here. Now, for the final hit of Ganon, it actually has to be dealt with the Master Sword. And normally, you cannot equip the Master Sword as Child Link. However, the game actually just auto-equips the Master Sword on you when you pick it up from the ground. You don't have to manually open up the inventory and equip it, which is why you're able to do this final section right here and just go back and forth. And even though I held the stick in my hand right there, it was just doing the damage of my last attack, which was my Master Sword. So that was the Master Sword hitting him 4 times in a row. And after that, Zelda, puts her power out, takes Ganon down, and now we just have to walk up and do the final hit and time. 22 minutes and 53 seconds with stopping. That is the classic route that got me really into speedrunning back in 2013. What a fun run. I absolutely love this run. Like I said earlier, I know that there's some glitches here and there's, it's still broken. It's not like a casual playthrough. And there was longer categories, but I just love these old classic runs where, I'm still going to the boss, I'm still beating it, and I'm still getting some items and resemblance of a route, even if I'm skipping a lot. But either way, that was just kind of my treat for Christmas, going back and taking a look back, at what really got me into speedrunning. So if you hadn't seen this run before, or if you were also around back in the day and saw these runs, then please let me know what you think, right? Let me know what you think about the, perspective of speedrunning back then versus now, what you think about the newer routes now. We just run warping to the credits. Do you like it? Do you not like it? I'm really interested to see what you guys think. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for awesome content, and I will see you all in the next one. Later, everybody. Bye-bye.